History repeats itself, and therefore every historical incident has some kind of observable pattern. It could be used by others going through similar pathways to save themselves from destruction. Something on similar lines needs to be done by Nepal government if they want that civil unrest do not end up engulfing the economy. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host, Tejasvi Malhotra, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story in this video, I'm here to tell you about the events unfolding in Nepal. Every economy depends on one sector or another to a large extent. For example, at this juncture of time, India mainly relies on agriculture and manufacturing for keeping its population in good shape. However, if India decides to concentrate on these two sectors only, its economy will crumble like a pack of cards. Something similar is happening in Nepal. Nepal is facing a severe economic crisis. The country, whose healthy rate of inflation is 2%, is now witnessing 3.6 times that of normal inflation level, and it is now 7.2% in Nepal. Experts in the energy sector are advising Nepalese government to implement measures such as a 2-day weekend, odd even traffic rule, quota at filling stations, discouraging vehicle use, carpooling, and even a ban on import of petrol and diesel vehicles. It is pertinent to note that the appeal came in the wake of Nepali government spending 1.76 trillion Nepali rupees for importing oil in first 11 months of this fiscal. Nepal's forex reserves are drying up quicker than expected. According to varying estimates, Nepal's forex reserve is only good enough to fund 6.5 months to 7 months of its import requirements. Moreover, stakeholders are not even willing to take course corrective measures. Nepal's export basket comprises of those products which they do not even produce in sufficient quantity to feed their own population. Nepalese businessmen import palm oil and soya oil from other countries and export it to any third destination in order to earn more revenues. It has led to skyrocketing import bills. In the 11th month of this fiscal year only, Nepal's imports of edible oil was valued at 113.87 billion Nepali rupees, more than 3 times jump over 2018 to 2019 value. Both fuel and edible oil put immense pressure on Nepalese forex reserve. However, up until now, remittances have come to rescue the Nepalese economy. In the first 10 months of this fiscal year, remittances from Nepalese people living outside the country was clocked at 811.79 billion Nepali rupees. In the wake of not much change expected to occur in next 2 months, the country may end up receiving more than 1 trillion Nepali rupees in remittances. Ideally, the huge remittances should have acted as a cushion for Nepal, just like they do it for India. But in Nepal's case, it has led to significant negative consequences on economy as well. Nepalese are not being able to use these remittances judiciously. Rather than using this huge chunk of money for starting their own businesses or saving it in bank accounts, remittances are being used only for the sake of consumption. Again, consumption is not bad for the economy as it keeps the flow of money going, but over-reliant on it only ends up creating disasters. People's inclination towards consumption is visible in Nepal's growth trajectory as well. More consumption means more demand for luxury items and places like hotels and resorts, among others. All these things come under service sector. Interestingly, Nepal's service sector has witnessed an increase in last few years. This should have been a good sign and is in fact an indication of upward trajectory of an economy's status towards developed economy. But in Nepal's case, it has come off on hollow base. Unlike developed economies, Nepal's service sector is not built on the back of strong manufacturing sector. Without manufacturing growth being strong, service sector and henceforth economy collapses in the long run, simply because it does not have much products to consume and keep the economy floating. The problem in manufacturing sector is caused by diversion of bank credits to not so much productive sectors of economy. Around 20% of the credit has gone to fund trading, which particularly represents wholesale and retail services, with the emphasis especially on services. Only 7.8% of loans went to agriculture. But the biggest problem is that the production is constantly being denied of good credit, and last year only 15% of total loan portfolio was availed to it. No wonder. Production capacity is less. Almost no bank in Nepal is in a position to lend because their credit deposit ratio has passed the red line of 90%. Situation is bad in Nepal, and it is also a hot spot for those NGOs who work day and night to destabilize governments in order to keep their funding going, and Nepal government needs to be proactive in preventing the looming threat.